Welcome to the lesson on scientific notation. First thing we need to do is to change our mode. If we're taking a number from standard form and we want to see what it is in scientific notation, we need to change the mode on the calculator to scientific mode. So let's type the mode button, which is just to the right of the blue button. And notice the very first row has normal and then psi and then ENG. We are engineering. We are going to do the second choice, which is scientific notation. So scroll to the right, make that highlight and blink. To choose it, you're going to press enter. And now we're going to quit this mode, come out of the mode button. So go to second, and then remember that all the second functions, all the blue functions are using the second button. So you have to press the second and then type mode again, which is the quit button. We're ready to plug in our numbers, so let's see what it looks like. We're going to start off with 12,000. So let's type in 12,000, 1, then 2, and then 0, 0, 0. So that's our number. We want to see what it is in scientific notation. We just press enter. So for the calculator, remember that scientific notation has to be one non-zero digit between 1 and 9 and a decimal point and however many decimal places after that. For the calculator, this letter E means times 10, and then the number after the E is the actual exponent. So this is, in scientific notation, 1.2 times 10 raised to the positive fourth power. So let's do the second one, which is decimal point 0.0258. So type the decimal point, 0.258. We're going to see what it is in scientific notation. So we press enter. And this is 2.58. The E, remember, is times 10 to the negative 2. So this makes sense because a big number, 12,000 is a big number, is going to have a positive exponent, and a small number, 0.0258, is going to have a negative exponent. So this is handy when we want to multiply numbers that are already in scientific notation mode. So the next example is parentheses 1.5 times 10 to the second, and we're going to multiply that times 3.2 times 10 to the negative third. So let's type it in exactly how we see it using the parentheses and the 10 raised to each power. So here we go. Here's the parentheses button on this, right sort of in the middle of the calculator. So we're going to open up this left parentheses. We're going to type 1.5, so 1.5. Then we're going to put times, and then 10, so 1, 0, and we need to raise it to an exponent. The exponent button is this upside down V, or you can use the shortcut for squared, which is the X squared button. That's the button that I'm going to use. And then now we have to close the parentheses. So we're going to use the right parentheses. Press that. Now we need to multiply it by. So the calculator understands if you have a right parentheses right next to a left parentheses like this, that means to multiply. You do not have to type in the multiply button. It is fine if you do, you just do not have to do that. So I'm going to go back and then just type over that multiply button just to show you that we can use that multiply, or the parentheses, and the calculator will understand that to be multiply. So we're going to type in 3.2, so 3 decimal point 2, and then times 10 to the negative third. So times 10, so 1, 0, and now we do have to use this exponent button because the shortcut button over here where it says x squared is only when it's squared. Any other power you have to use the exponent button. So we're going to use the exponent button, and now we need to type in a negative 3. So make sure that you use the negative symbol down here on the bottom of your screen near the enter button and not the subtraction button. Those are two different buttons on the calculator, and the programming of the calculator understands them differently. So we do want to put in a negative integer, so negative and then 3. Now here's the thing, notice that we are still in the exponent, so we need to scroll to the right to get out of the exponent, and now let's close our parentheses. So if you'll notice that the numbers have just gone off the screen, they're still there, they haven't disappeared, they're still there, the calculator's holding them in its memory. So we're just going to press enter, and the answer will appear in scientific notation. 4.8 times 10, remember the E means times 10, raised to the negative first power. Now what if we want to change scientific notation to standard notation? Well, we need to go back and change our mode on our calculator. So let's type in mode. and we need to change it back to normal. So that's what's blinking right now is normal. Right now it's in the highlighted part is scientific notation. So we want to put it on our choice, which is normal. Press enter. And now let's quit this screen. Remember that is second and mode because the quit is in blue. And let's type in 4.8 e or times 10 to the -1. So we need to put this in scientific notation mode. So we're going to type in 4.8. Now remember up here on the screen you see the e and the 4 is the exponent and then e and the -2, so that's times 10 raised to the -2. We've got to plug that in just like the calculator sees it. So right here above the comma you see EE in capital letters in blue. That's the button that is used to do the shortcut for times 10. So you can still multiply it times 10 and it'll still come out correctly in standard form. But if you want to plug it in the way the calculator has it, we're going to use second and then the comma. That'll give us that E. So the calculator understands that to be times 10. And now just plug in the exponent. So the exponent for that was -1. Remember, we got to use the negative button and then 1. And now we just press enter and it's going to tell us in standard notation. That is actually 0.48. Let's try 1.258 times 10 to the 10th. So 1.258 second EE. That's going to get us that scientific notation. And then 10. 10 is our exponent. So we're going to type in 10 and then press enter. Well, the calculator gave us the exact same problem that we plugged in. The reason that it did that is because it will only hold up to 9 decimal places. It is too large of a number for the calculator to actually show us. Anytime you've calculated something and it's too big for the screen, the calculator automatically puts it into scientific notation. This concludes our lesson on scientific notation.